So, what are we going to do about the goof?
We're going to do a big goof.
Okay, well, the goof is...
Live from my living room, it's the Chris and Jim Show, starring Jim and Chris.
You heard him correctly. It is the Chris and Jim Show, starring myself and Jim Gribben. Welcome back, everyone. It is we're back on our normal time, Saturday morning.
Feels good. It's been a while.
It has. It's been a long time since we've done the show. I think the last show we did was
back in April.
Was a late night show. What?
It was back in April. It was a while ago.
I don't think so. I think you're about off on that. It's a special show today. We've reached a milestone. Today is our 10th show.
High five.
High five. Exactly. That was the worst high
five.
Okay. We want to thank, first and foremost, we want to thank everyone for being a part of this. It's been a fun ride so far. Hopefully we have 100 million more episodes of this.
1 billion episodes.
1 billion episodes. We have a huge show, lots of lineup ahead of you today.
Before we get started, we got to do a dedication.
Oh, today's show is dedicated
to Baltimore's Tarzan Boy.
Okay, I think we can. I think we got the point. That's a great way to
start. That's how you do it.
Well, if you're not awake, you are now. Definitely listening to that. So we'll talk about Alex Rodriguez. Of course, we have Bieber Watch coming up to you.
Hey, when I recorded it,
the
whole bars are just
unbelievable,
stacked on my audio thing.
Thank you, tech guy. So today we have Alex Rodriguez, Justin Bieber, two people everyone America loves. We'll have a ghost story, a special Halloween edition of the
It's scary. I couldn't sleep last night. I listened to it again.
You gave me a preview, and I got nightmares. We have a top 5, of course, our emails, and we'll talk about a big political issue that's been going on lately. The government may be shut down, but the Chris and Jim Show still rocks on. But first and foremost...
Yeah, let's get into fan mail. So this one comes from Santa Cruz, California, via our Gmail. It goes, Dear Jim and Chris of the Chris and Jim Show, my name is Bob Cobb, and I live in Santa Cruz, California. I'm a long-time listener and first-time writer. I wanted to let you know that your show has completely revolutionized my life. Everything I thought I knew has been completely overturned. My life can easily be divided up into 2 parts. My life before the show and after the show. Wow. Ever since I listened to all 10 episodes, or 9, of the Chris and Jim Show, I felt like I understood and saw clearly for the first time. Thank you for your countless hours of dedication and hard work, and please continue changing the world. Bob Cobb.
Oh, wow, that email does not sound made up at all. But
I swear to you, I made up the name. His name's Justin Clark. He's an old buddy of mine.
So you give him a pseudonym and then just put the real name
I'm going to text him after this, make sure I can post this. If not, it'll be a censored name.
It'll be a funny goof, though.
He's a bit of a jokester, so I think there are good intentions. This is not a made-up email. It's the real deal.
Well, excellent. And Justin,
thank you for listening.
A.k.a. Bob, we appreciate that. And, that's what we do here. We change lives one episode at a time.
We change the world one episode at a time.
Changing the world, the Chris and Jim Show. It's just a beautiful thing.
So that's fan mail. Keep sending them.
Indeed, yes. In case the email account is chrisandjimshow@gmail.com.
We also have our alternate one, government shutdown don't care @gmail.com.
There is that. Speaking of the government shutdown, that is the biggest news topic of the week.
Yes.
Basically, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to this stuff, so I don't know why I'm describing this story. But Obamacare was set to pass this week, and then the Republicans.
Well, it did.
Well, they did, yeah. Republicans said, "Nah, man, we don't want that. Hang on, so we're just gonna Operation Shutdown and."
Nah, man, we don't want that.
I'm paraphrasing.
Okay.
But Jim, I'm treading very, very lightly here. But Jim,
I will not pick a side on.
You're a little bit more up to the date on this issue. Just give a little overview, if you will, what's going on.
Basically, what Congress is supposed to do is they have to pass a spending bill once a year to fund the government, and the Republicans are refusing to agree and come to terms on this year's spending bills with the Democrats. So they've kind of just shut several different areas of the government, like the national parks, applying for small business loans, that kind of thing. Not big things, not like TSA or the post office, the police force, stuff like that. It's just minor things right now, but it's been going on for a while. I think it's at, I don't know, let's say like 80 hours or something.
Yeah, so I think we're on day 6 or so, day 5 or 6 of the government shutdown. What I think about it is I'm like I said, I'm completely ignorant, so if people want to yell at me, that's cool, I get it.
Okay.
But my thing about it is,
what's your gripe?
It's a law. It's been passed.
Right.
When a law is proposed, it goes to the House of Representatives first. That's what's first stop. And the House of Representatives has more Republicans in there currently. So it goes to the first step. They ratify it, or not ratify. They pass it to the United States Senate.
Yes.
There's more Democrats in the Senate, but my thing is, I'm not politically savvy, but if I feel they had a chance to nip this in the butt before we got to this point. Why didn't they do it right then and there?
I think they were trying to. It's a snowball. It's gotten huge. It's very popular.
That's very true. I mean, another thing is like, it's just, it's weird to me because how can you stop a law? It was ratified, it was passed, and now all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, no, we want a mulligan. We want to start over again.
Well, I personally, I feel for the government workers. My father was a government worker. I have a long history of government workers in my family. I kind of like the government shutdown because it shows people, whether you're left or right, that hey, maybe you shouldn't put all of your freedoms and trust into the government because it can stop. Let's have more freedoms to the people. That way, when something like this happens, you're not like, oh well, all of my family are employed by the government.
My thing about it too, also, is like a lot of these senators and Republicans, Democrats that are in the House and the Senate, all this, and park workers, government officials that are basically left out, jobless right now for the time being. I'm pretty sure they just ratified backspending of furloughed. I think that's the word. Pay. So the people who are in shutdown right now will get paid. So in essence, I feel
they're working on paying them.
I feel there's no it's
just bad press for the federal government, which is good press in my opinion.
This is fair. I mean, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Well, I mean, it makes them look bad, which is good for people that agree with me. And
people are starting to go crazy over this, though. I mean, it's totally. Oh, you're gonna say? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no worries. I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Jeez, you made me lose my train of thought.
That's never happened before. I'm actually kind of proud of myself for doing
I'll come back to it.
Okay, but it's kind of weird. A little roundabout way of this story. I don't think it's tied in, but
damn you for making me forget.
That's what I do. Of course, we thought there's Miriam Carey, who just tried to basically deliver something to the White House and with her car, and then the police were all over her
you're talking about the wild car chase in
Indeed,
DC.
Yes. So a couple days ago, a young lady by the name of Miriam Carey, 34 years old, drove from Stanford, Connecticut, I believe, or some part of Connecticut, down to Washington, D.C.
That's in the tri-state area, Eric Moreno.
He still owes you $5. She tried to jump a curb and crash straight through the White House.
Was it the White House,
yes,
or was it just the chase?
It started at the White House, and then it ended towards the Capitol. So right when she went to the White House, her wanted level immediately 5 stars.
Yeah, that nice GTA reference.
Exactly. So then she takes police on a car chase to the U.S. Capitol, and then they gunned her down. So she was wasted. So game over for her.
What cracks me up is that her family
her
family and friends saying she didn't deserve to go out that way, didn't deserve to die.
You
can't crash your car going nuts all over DC and expect the cops to say, well, maybe she's not a terrorist. Maybe there's a baby in the car with her.
There was a baby in the car with her, but
thank God it's okay.
No, I'm with you on that.
You can't crash a car into the White House.
As insensitive as it does sound, and we do have our respects to Miriam and the family, but I completely agree with you.
The opinions voiced by Chris are solely those of Chris.
Oh my, well, good, because they're good opinions and nice opinions. But yeah, no, you can't just go willy-nilly in the White House and expect to be, just carried away nicely.
Did they have to shoot her that many times with that many bullets? Like, come on.
It's the White House. If she does it at a Waffle House, okay.
Yeah, what happens if a terrorist does go through and they don't shoot him because he might be, lost, or, he might have spilled hot coffee in his lap, so he's driving recklessly.
That's pretty...
You got to take the chance.
Crazy times. It's weird.
And we got another guy, the man who lit himself on the Capitol Hill Mall. He lit himself on fire.
Oh, wow, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, this guy, I don't think they've identified him yet because he's charcoal. But on Friday, around 9 o'clock, I believe, or no, he died at 9 o'clock. I'm guessing in the afternoon is when he lit himself on fire, Capitol Hill, and in protest maybe of the government shutdown and everything that's going on.
He took that way too far.
Yeah, well.
Well, he called his bluff. They called, I'll keep going. We'll see how far you go. I'll do it. I'm going to keep my line myself.
It's going to get hot.
You guys feeling the heat? Because I sure am. And I'm dead now. So kudos to you. You got your message out there. But
I'm so mad you made me lose my train of thought.
I'm actually very happy. Flustered Jim is good, Jim. Well, moving on. I believe it is time for a certain watch of a celebrity.
That is Mandarin for Bieber Watch. I looked it up. Basically, Justin Bieber crushed it.
We're now an international incident. This is official.
Incident?
Yes.
My pronunciation was crystal clear. Ask any Chinese person that doesn't live in Hong Kong, and they will say that meant Bieber watch. Anyways,
that's got to be a bad statement somewhere.
What? No, nothing I said was non-PC, even though we don't believe in political.
Well, the politics are shut down right now, so it's all.
So what are they going to do? Is NSA going to come to our doorstep and bust our chops? Whatever, bring them on. Basically, Justin Bieber, he did two big things this past week. First off, he was in China visiting the Great Wall, which is the only man-made object visible from space, which is kind of cool. Did you know that?
I did know that, actually, yeah.
You're tinkering with your phone. Are you listening to the show?
Yes.
All right. So, he goes to the Great Wall, and he has his two bodyguards lift him up, place him on their shoulders, and they walk him all the way up.
Like a Canadian sultan.
Yeah, which I think is hilarious because he's a celebrity. Why should he have to walk upstairs, Let his bodyguards, who are paid to do that, he only weighs about 10 pounds, let him go up there. So now all these Chinese people are saying, like, he looked ridiculous. The Canadians are saying...
I think people in general, not just Chinese people, are saying he looked ridiculous. I've seen the picture.
Well, yeah, and then the Canadians are saying, please adopt him as your own citizen. We don't want this kid anymore. I'll take him. You can come stay with me, Bieber.
Are we going to have like a racial draft 2013?
Bring it. I'd love it. I'll draft him every round. The other thing was he was speeding in his neighborhood where he lives, I think in L.A., he wasn't going too fast. I think maybe 85, 90. And
not too fast at all.
His neighbor
felony speeding
comes running out of the house, starts screaming. I'm like, you're going to run over my kids, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about these kids? And he starts getting in Bieber's face. So Justin spits a loogie on the guy, and now the guy wants to, press charges that he was attacked by Justin Bieber.
It's got to be
tough. It's outrageous. Leave him alone.
It's got to be tough being that kid.
He's a migrant worker. It's a tough life. That's Bieber watch.
He is an immigrant. That's
Halio Ting Fi Hai.
I don't think that's what that says.
Yeah, I looked up beaver because there's no Bieber in Mandarin, so it's Beaver Watch.
So it's like Japanese porn?
Don't Google.
Do not Google Beaver Watch on Google.
You will get a terrible Chinese wall beaver spitting on you.
I also said Japanese instead of Chinese.
All right.
I'm pretty sure this is the most racially sensitive show we've done. Episode 10's been kind of rough right now.
Yeah.
Well, Justin Bieber is not the only jerk in the celebrity world.
Jerk?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of people would go with that.
We're going to have a Chris and Jim show shut down if you keep talking bad about him.
I'm just saying. Major League Baseball superstar Alex Rodriguez.
Whoa, superstar at this point?
Definitely. I still classify him as a superstar.
You would say... but he is currently a superstar, not based on his publicity, but on his stats.
Statistically, I mean, no, but
statistically is where that's my school of thought.
But he's a superstar in essence. I mean,
he's a name. I wouldn't say he's a superstar. You can agree with me on that.
He's
a name, like Jaromir Jagr.
He's a star. He's a star of the game. People go see Alex Rodriguez. He's a superstar.
Agree to disagree.
Fair enough.
Chad Vish.
Work hard, work hard, spend hard.
Work hard, spend hard.
Well, that's what he's trying to do, actually. He didn't really work too hard because he cheated, but he's spending hard on lawyers because he is basically filing a giant defamation of character suit against Major League Baseball, who currently has a 211-game suspension they want to put on Alex Rodriguez. Basically, what A-Rod is saying is that Major League Baseball did some shady investigation to basically, in essence, as he calls it, a witch hunt. So they would suspend him.
Right.
And he says, hey, all these other guys who you got, you didn't really do all this work for them. Yeah, right. You are going, like, bending rules.
Personal vendetta to get them.
Exactly. So he basically is now saying, I'm not signing for this. I don't want the suspension, or at least I don't like the way you guys went about it. I'm going to file this lawsuit against Major League Baseball, saying you guys had a wrongful practice, and he's going to try and get his suspension reduced and put MLB in trouble. Your thoughts about this?
I still feel for the guy. A lot of people cheated, and they're playing again, and it feels like I said, like a vendetta. They're going after him because of his name, because he is a big name in the game. It's A-Rod, everyone hates him. So
superstar.
He's not a super. They're trying to make an example out of him because he's been the one retaliating the most. But what do you think?
I personally think this is bad for both sides. I think what's going to happen is I think Alex Rodriguez and his team of lawyers are going to uncover some dirty... This is going to get bad. This is going to get ugly. I think there will be a lot of stuff that comes out that Major League Baseball did do. And I'm not saying A-Rod is right overall, and I'm not saying Major League Baseball is right. I'm just saying overall the entire process is going to be messy. I think there's some stuff that'll come out, and neither side will win. I think A-Rod eventually might get his suspension reduced, but I also believe Major League Baseball is not as high and mighty, and we're proper about this as well.
They're not a bunch of Boy Scouts.
Exactly. I think that'll all come out. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be an interesting off season.
Well, brighter days are ahead. Are they not? Bud's retiring after this season.
It'll be his last season. Yes.
New commissioner. Video reviews.
There will be a new commissioner. There should be instant replay going into as well in effect. So
I like that.
There is some sunny days ahead. The darkest. It's always darkest before dawn.
That's very true. That who said that? I think it was Johnny Depp.
No, I think it was what's his name? Christian Bale.
What?
Yeah.
Get that.
No, it was Harvey Dent. It was Aaron Eckhart in Batman.
No, I'm talking about the actor. I think Johnny Depp said that.
Oh, well.
But yeah, you are right. He does mention that in the movie.
Very, very true.
Speaking of witch hunts, it's that time of year, Chris.
What time is it?
Leaves are falling. Kids are running around in costumes.
Uh-oh. Sounds like Halloween to me. I actually hate Halloween.
Well, I'm glad you hate it because that's a big part of our show. We're talking about scary stuff.
Why don't you like Halloween? I don't like being scared. I'll gladly admit that on the air. I'm a giant wuss apparently. But
what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Scariest movie I've ever seen. I'm gonna get. Oh my god, you're putting me on the spot.
See, I'm already. I mentioned scary, and Chris is holding his pen, and it just went flying out of his hand as if a ghost were in the room.
The scariest movie I ever saw, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but it's one of my.
Don't say it.
One of my phobias. One of my phobias is the forest and the woods and being all that stuff and being isolated. My grandparents have a cabin in the White Mountains, and sometimes I just get freaked out when we go. So when the Blair Witch Project first came out, saw that movie in the theater. A lot of people have clowned on it. It was a stupid movie. I literally could not sleep for 2 days. I was freaked out. It just mentally.
It's a scary movie because it's the unknown.
Exactly, and I'm not a big fan of the. I mean, I'm cool with the other stuff, but
the guy chasing you.
You put me in the woods, I'm done.
It's out of your element.
It is very, very
not
true.
You personally, but just people in the 21st century. You know,
exactly.
It brings you back.
So it's a spooky time. It's a spooky time of year.
Vikings
and yes, the Vikings.
Visigoths.
Spooky time of year. We always share our campfire stories, things like that. Some scary stuff, some scary supernatural occurrences,
things that go bump in the night. So what we did, Chris and I got together on a Monday afternoon. We said, all right, well, how are we going to up the ante? How are we going to scare people on the show? So what we did some research and some investigating. We found a couple different people in the state of Arizona that had some incredibly chilling stories to tell. So we gathered some money. We sent myself on the road.
Spared no expense.
We sent myself on the road to go track these people down. You know, some of them, one person lived outside of Jerome, the other person lived outside of Wilcox, one person in Tucson, and then someone out in Apache Junction that had encountered real life supernatural things.
And these people moved out to the boonies of Arizona because the stories that occurred so scary, so traumatic, they had to get out of town.
Chris is teasing them because they live in rural areas, and that's usually what city slickers do, is they make fun of people that live in the middle of nowhere.
God bless the metropolitan area.
What did you say?
God bless the metropolitan areas.
Yeah, whatever, wimp. We're going to do a different interview every week for October. This week, we interviewed a woman outside of Wilcox who claims that she was abducted by UFOs. They didn't do anything to her, but she woke up in a different place. So I met with her last week. Her name, I think we'll keep it.
We don't want to. We
don't want people bothering her.
Exactly.
So without further ado, here comes the Chris and Jim Show's Supernatural segment. The desert, where life exists on the brink, where people come to escape from the city and their past, and sometimes find themselves in the fight of their lives. I came to Wilcox, Arizona in search of answers, and what I found has changed my life forever, and I guarantee it'll change yours as well. This is Jim Gribben reporting for the Chris and Jim Show, coming to you live from Wilcox, Arizona, with a special guest.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We just really want to say thank you again, and we really appreciate you agreeing to meet with us and do this interview. I'm sure this will be very difficult for you, but I believe the world needs to hear your story. So if you're ready, let's begin.
Okay. I don't usually like bringing this story back up to life, but here we go. This was quite a few years ago. I'd like to say around 1996. I know I'd just moved to Wilcox. Just recently got a job at the pharmacy downtown. It was really late. I worked the night shift, so I was heading home, and I was just driving on a really cold night. I remember it was very cold on the 191. I had just started passing Mount Graham when I thought I saw something come over the mountain. And now, even thinking back, I can't really describe what it looked like, but it really was just emitting this bright light.
Okay. So
really, really odd, and I'm not the type to ever believe in these sort of things, so it really caught me by surprise. There was no one on the road, and I just remember this light was surrounding my car. And like I said, it was really, really cold outside. My heater didn't work at all, so it was even more weird when my car started to get really, really hot, and I started to just sweat. Next thing I remember, my stereo turned on and just started playing the cassette. And I pressed the off button, turned the volume down, and it just wouldn't turn off. Let's see. Then the car just started to shake, like uncontrollably shake. And I could not even move the steering wheel. I tried to brake, nothing would stop the shaking. So that's when I got really, really scared. Then my car died. I was just stuck in the middle of the road. There was no one else out on the road. Like I said, it was pretty late, so no one's usually driving at that time. But whatever the light was, whatever the shaking was, I could feel it above my car. And then I heard this very high-pitched noise. Hard to explain, but kind of like a dog whistle. And then just like banging, these really, really loud banging sounds, like pots and pans. Then I couldn't breathe. Just this really heavy weight and this pressure on my chest. Like, it's hard to explain it, but kind of like an energy was trying to push itself out of me.
Wow.
And that's when I blacked out. I don't remember anything after that. So, next thing, I just wake up.
Where were you?
Well, I was still in my car, but what I don't understand was it wasn't next to Mount Graham, and I wasn't even on the 191. I ended up being on the 75 near the Gila River.
Wow, that's over 50 miles, isn't it?
Yeah, just about. And it's so weird. I just don't know how I got there. Thinking back, I mean, I guess I must have been taken by whatever was above my car.
Did you have any marks on your body or signs of contact from whatever it was you'd encountered that night?
No, but for the next few days, my pupils were very, very dilated, and I couldn't focus and had trouble seeing for a while.
How did you get home that night?
After a few hours, finally a truck drove by, and I was really shooken up, and he took me back to Wilcox.
Do you think it was a UFO that abducted you that night?
I mean, I'm not too sure. I never believed in those sort of things, but, I don't like to think about it too much because it still just really scares me to think about what happened when I blocked out and how I ended up so far from where I had originally been.
Wow, that's an incredible story. Thank you so much for telling it and sharing it with us and the world. You're incredibly brave, and hopefully one day you'll be able to find the answers that you're searching for and figure out what happened on that night. For the Chris and Jim Show, this is Jim Gribben reporting to you live in the field from Wilcox, Arizona. Back to the studio.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa. That was not what I was expecting.
I met with her, and I was like, all right.
I wasn't ready for that.
She told me on the phone what the story was, and I was like, all right. And she really described it in person. It was chilling.
Yeah, I got it.
I can't imagine having that happen to me.
I'm kind of speechless right now. It's kind of crazy.
So, thank you again. We won't say your name, but thank you for the story, and stay tuned next week. We're going to be doing, should I mention what it is?
Give a little teaser. Give a little tease.
It's something that howls.
That's a pretty big hint, but okay. Well, I mean, after something like that, we need to lighten the mood a little bit. It's time for the weekly top 5.
Whoa, can we slide in the Red Wings really quick?
Oh, my God.
Just to lighten the mood even more? Red Wings are undefeated.
For now. And
currently undefeated.
Yeah, there you go. The NHL.
The Tigers are up 1-0 in their series against Billy Bean and the A's.
Moneyball indeed. Okay, you got
cash money.
You good to go?
It's a good time to be a Detroit fan. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, there you go. You got out of your weekly Detroit update.
I got it out of my system.
Exactly, I can tell. So that's the weekly top 5. It's Halloween, it's October, a lot of weird, different stuff out there. We're going to go on the subject of killing.
Perfect.
Exactly, right? So basically what we decided, very light, what do we transitional from light to get lighthearted? Let's talk about killing.
Let's talk about alleged killers.
Exactly. So basically what we're going to do is Jim and I compiled a top 5 of celebrities who we think, allegedly, we're not implicating anything, we're not assuming anything.
See them.
We think may have murdered someone.
I could see this person doing it.
Exactly.
Whether it's a goof, or because of their power and money, or just because they got that twinkle in their eye.
Exactly.
That only comes out in October.
Without any further ado, it is the Chris and Jim Show Weekly Top 5. Today,
Celebrity.
Top 5 celebrity.
Top 5 celebrity alleged murderers.
Indeed. So, Jim, you go ahead and start us off.
My number 5, John Voight.
John Voight.
He's got that creep look. He's got the shark eyes that may roll back when he sinks his teeth into a human flesh bone meat. That's my number 5. I don't know why. I just got a feeling on John Voight.
He looks,
and I love him. He's a great actor. Midnight Cowboy. Awesome movie.
He drove an '86 Buick LeBaron.
Yeah. He had a canoe.
Yeah, he did indeed. Well, John Voight. Okay, good start. My number 5. Pink. I think Pink.
What's Pink?
The pop artist girl.
What?
With the short. I think that girl. is murdered someone.
Like at a kegger? Or like
exactly.
Party?
That's what I'm getting at. I feel her personality strikes me as someone's talking trash to Pink, and then she's pretty drunk, allegedly, and
beats them to death.
Exactly. She pounces on him and she beats the person down, and then when people are like, "Oh, Pink, get off that person," she's like dead.
3 days later in the hospital, they pass away. Oh,
I think Pink has done some damage.
She's got some toughness to her. Indeed. My number 4, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
That movie, 1 Hour Photo, which I kept telling you, that movie Photo Booth.
Right, exactly.
That's with Colin Farrell. After I saw Robin Williams.
Phone booth, not photo booth. We did it again.
I did it again. I said Photo Booth, not phone booth. No one's getting shot in a photo booth.
Let's write the movie Photo Booth.
All right, so Robin Williams, after seeing 1 Hour Photo.
Yes.
Not Phono. I was like, this guy, I could see him killing someone. He's got really hairy arms. What's he hiding?
It'd be tough for him to cover up his scene with all that hair.
Maybe he's a werewolf. Maybe he's part of the theme of next week's scary supernatural story.
They should cast him as Cousin It in the new Adam Stanley movie.
Ooh, all right, you're number 4.
My number 4 goes to Ted Nugent.
Oh, come on!
Ted Nugent
for president. Yeah,
Ted Nugent has definitely
killed animals for food.
He's probably killed humans for sport. I'm just like Ted. For those who don't know, Ted Nugent was
everyone knows Ted Nugent. He's a common household name.
Well, he had classic songs such as "Stranglehold" and "Cat Scratch Fever."
Not a good way to pitch someone.
Well, it's Ted. Can you name a bigger hit than those two?
A Great White Buffalo. That's his best song
that no one has ever heard of.
What? Stranglehold and Cat
Anyway, so Ted Nugent is a very, very, very eccentric personality. He goes out at bow and arrows hunting things, and he is a very politically charged individual. I'm not saying he has political motives. I'm just saying this guy probably maybe a hunting accident that he's covered up. He's probably definitely killed
okay,
someone.
I could see a hunting accident. If I did drugs, I could see myself living or being Ted Nugent.
Never say that again.
No?
You
can't see me as a Ted Nugent type?
You don't ever want to be Ted Nugent.
I think he's very smart. Him and Jesse Ventura, I would vote for them in a heartbeat.
That'd be quite an interesting ticket, actually.
My number 3, Oprah. She's got all that power, all that money. You think she's never wanted to go to Southeast Asia and kill someone?
Bet on it?
Yeah. She's definitely, she thinks as herself as a golden calf that everyone worships her.
Right.
She gives everyone a free car on certain shows.
Correct.
You don't think she wants some blood on her hands?
She wants that?
I think so.
I
think she wants the ultimate high.
She's so nice. She's like, I got to counteract this niceness. I should murder someone. Okay, fair enough.
Just buy some Asian slave and then has him killed in front of her.
Good Lord.
And then gives him a car.
Do you know? Is this a story you're talking about?
Well, you're telling your Ted Nugent hunting accident where you shot someone. That's my number
allegedly.
3.
Again, we want to emphasize this is all alleged. We're not accusing anyone of anything here. My number 3 goes to Gary Busey.
Leave the poor guy alone.
No, I think Gary Busey, enough said. Gary Busey
he had a brain accident, so he's like a little off.
So he's taking it out on somebody. He definitely is.
The guy's in Point Break, possibly the best movie of the 1990s.
And he shot a lot of guns in that movie, so he knows his way around weapons.
Hey, Johnny, give me one of them meatball subs. Give me 2.
That might be the worst Gary Busey I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
secondly, I think you're the only person to ever try a Gary Busey impersonation.
All right, so that's your number 2?
My number 3.
Number 3. My number 2, Billy Zane. He's so good as the villain. He's got to be one in real life.
He's got to be cold-blooded.
I have no.
You can't teach that cold-bloodedness.
Yeah,
right?
you can't teach that.
It's
so I'm
natural.
thinking, I can't think of a scenario where he would kill someone. But his role in Titanic was so widely, critically appraised.
I don't think it was.
It was.
I don't think critics are saying Billy Zane at Titanic is a knockout.
Well, I think he killed someone.
Really? Okay, all right.
With a wig on.
With the wig on. Was he dressed as the Phantom? Is that like his...
just pow!
With the ring? That's his imprint.
The big ring.
That's his calling card. He just leaves the imprint of the
on
skull.
The set of the film.
Yeah, he just leaves a little token of Billy Zane was here.
A little clue. All right, so that's my number 2.
My number 2 is a little bit of a cliche pick in this situation. If you have a cliche pick in this topic, okay. Lindsay Lohan. I think Lindsay Lohan has killed someone based on the fact that I think at a party she's probably given someone some Molly or some Oxy and they overdose. And
some brown.
Exactly, yeah.
Oof.
So Lindsay
Snort
Lohan.
this gunpowder, you'll be fine.
Exactly. It's
okay.
An 8-ball. Allegedly, again, all this is
an
alleged.
accidental overdose. All right, yeah. I like that one. My number 1, the king of the Church of Scientology, Tom Cruise.
Do you think Tom Cruise?
I think he had some type of sacrificial lamb on the altar. Yeah, something where he's butt naked, kind of like eyes wide shut with an orgy.
We're talking about killing people. And you're saying a lamb, though.
Well, as a sacrificial lamb, the person.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think he's got some.
Imagine
dirt
that
under
person's like, "Hey, man, I'm getting recruited to the Church of Scientology by Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise wants to take me out, like grant a wish."
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah, that's my number 1.
That's all right. Well, my number 1 goes the number 1 person who I think may have killed someone.
They're gonna get sued.
Yeah, this is
once we make it big.
Exactly, is Michael Jordan.
Ooh,
I believe
controversial.
I think Michael Jordan has. Okay, so basically the reason why I come to this,
because of him or that he did it.
I think. Well, I'll get to that. So it's well established that Jordan has had a huge gambling thing. He's a big gambler, and I mean big time money. This is all alleged stuff. A lot of people think when his father died, it was people sending him a message kind of thing. That's again, it's all alleged. This is just rumors. His initial retirement, they thought he had to retire because this gambling thing was about to be exposed, and so David Stern's like, "Dude, Mike, maybe you take a break for a bit, get some, cool off." Again, it's all alleged. And I think if you're involved in this game, in that world, and you have all this heat on you, allegedly, and you have all this, and you're in that world, you got to get your hands dirty. It's almost like mandatory. You have to get. It's kind of like Walter White.
Don't start with me.
You get into that game, you gotta pay the piper.
I agree with you on Michael Jordan. I think he's got some stuff
right
that Fruit of the Loom is covering up for him.
That's Haynes.
Oh, oops, I can't swear. Yeah, Haynes. I think they have a hand in the pot, and they're helping him keep his undies nice and clean and white and.
Why are you like close to me when you say this?
I don't know. It's Halloween. I'm feeling rambunctious.
I don't think that's an excuse.
So, do you have anything else?
No, I think we're good, actually. It was a pretty good show. I was happy with it.
Breaking Bad's over. Chris wanted to ruin it for everyone.
You people with your spoilers, enough.
Don't spoil it for people. I'm still in season 1, so leave me alone.
Some fan.
Chris gets angry when people aren't up to date.
It's the most talked about show in the past year, and yet everyone's, don't spoil it for me, dude. You've had an infinite amount of time to catch up, and now you're suddenly going to catch up. You're going to get on the bandwagon now, and expect me not to ruin it for you.
Watch the show. Go watch Gravity. Best movie out there right now. Best movie of the year.
Says the guy who hasn't seen it.
I'm a big fan of the director, so I know it's going to crush.
That famous last words.
Any shout-outs, T-Bone?
I actually do. I want to give a shout-out to our friend Josh, whose birthday we celebrated last week.
Happy birthday, Josh. Josh is an avid NHL hockey fan.
Indeed.
Who does not believe in fighting.
He thinks it's bad for the game.
I've never met a hockey fanatic that hated fighting, so...
It's a shame he can't defend himself right here.
He's a platypus. He's a conundrum. He's an interesting animal.
Indeed, but we love him to death.
A rare breed. Happy birthday, Josh. We got a couple birthdays. Mother Hen, a coworker of mine, Josh Green at Hensley. It's his birthday yesterday. Katie McLaughlin had happy births earlier this week. It was her birthday.
Happy birds?
Births? Like birth? I don't know.
What?
I have no idea. Happy birthday, Katie. Long-time listener. I have no other shout-outs.
Well, in case you don't, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Chris and Jim Show, as well as Instagram at Chris and Jim Show. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, The Chris and Jim Show. Be sure to send us some emails at chrisandjimshow@gmail.com.
What? Do you see that?
What is that? It's like a van or something.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
It wasn't there at the beginning of the show.
Well, do you think it was something we had to do with that?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Is your mic still on?
No.
That's weird, because I